Let me paint you a picture. You went to school, you got a good job, you bought a house. You're doing everything they told you to do. So why does it feel like you're always broke? You're not imagining it. You're not bad with money. You're not lazy. The game changed and nobody told you. Yo, the Money MC. And today we are talking about the biggest lie ever sold to the American people. The idea that if you work hard, play by the rules, and do everything right, the middle-class life is waiting for you on the other side. A comfortable life, a secure future, maybe even a little left over. That was the promise. Here's the reality. 65% of middle-class Americans say they are financially struggling right now today. Not people in poverty, not people who made bad choices. People with jobs, houses, and 2 cars in the driveway, who are one unexpected bill away from disaster. Today we're gonna break down exactly why. No fluff, no spin, just the cold truth about what happened to the American middle class. Look around, this was like an American dream, right? Nice houses, nice cars, kids playing outside. But behind those front doors, something is wrong. In 1971, just about 50 years ago, more than 60% of Americans were considered middle class. More than half the country was solidly in the middle, stable, comfortable, building something. Today, that number has dropped to just 50%. The middle class lost 10% of the entire country in one generation. And where did those people go? Some went up, but most went down. The middle is hollowing out, the top is getting richer. The bottom is getting bigger. And the people in the middle are working harder than ever just to stay right where they are. And here's the number that stopped me cold. In 1985, not ancient history, just 40 years ago, a typical male worker could support a family of 4 with healthcare, housing, a car, food, and still save for college on just 40 weeks of income. 40 weeks. That leaves 12 weeks of his paycheck to actually get ahead. You know how many weeks it takes today? 62 weeks. There are only 52 weeks in a year. The math doesn't work anymore, and it hasn't worked for a long time. The middle class's share of total national income fell from 62% in 1917 to just 42% in 2007. Meanwhile, the wealthy share went from 29% to 50%. The middle class is working more and taking home less of the country's wealth every single year. Let me ask you something. You have a job. Your job gives you health insurance. You think you're covered, but do you know what that insurance actually costs you? The average cost of employer-sponsored family health insurance in 2025 is $20,699 a year. Almost $27,000 per year for a family plan. Now your employer pays some of that, but you'll pay the rest. The average worker chips in $18.50 out of their own paycheck just for the premium before seeing a single doctor. And that is just to have the insurance. Then comes the deductible. The average individual deductible is now $1,986 at smaller companies. It's often $2,000, $3,000 or more. That means before your insurance pays a single dollar for your actual care, you have already spent your premium contribution, cost thousands more out of pocket. You are paying to have insurance that doesn't kick in until you've already spent thousands of your own money. And it keeps going up every single year, whether you use it or not. In 19 states, health insurance costs middle-class families 10% or more of everything they earn in some places. 15 cents out of every dollar goes to just having health coverage. And here is the part that should make you furious. This is the system that was designed to help you. This is a benefit your employer provides, and yet 40% of middle-class households say they are not confident they can survive a major medical expense without financial disaster. You are paying thousands of dollars a year for protection that might not actually protect you. One health emergency, one hospital stay, one diagnosis, and years of savings can disappear overnight.
Yeah. You needed a car. Nothing fancy, just something reliable, something that works. So you went to the dealership. Yeah. Bright lights, clean floors, new car smell. They showed you something nice. comfortable, modern, safe. Then they ask the question, what monthly payment works for you? And right there, that's where the trap begins. Because once the conversation becomes about the monthly payment, the price stops mattering. Today, the typical car payment is around $700 a month, every month for years. And that's just for the car itself. Because the payment is only the beginning. Insurance, gas, maintenance, repairs, registration, taxes. Little by little, the car starts costing about $1,000 every single month just to keep it on the road. Most families don't have one car, they have two. That's $2,000 a month. To make those payments feel affordable, people are stretching loans longer and longer. 6 years, 7 years, by the time the car is finally paid off, it's already worn out. And many people are still paying for a car that no longer even feels new. Across the country, families now owe over $1 trillion on their vehicles. Millions are already falling behind on payments. Because when money gets tight, something has to give. But without a car, getting to work becomes harder. And without work, making the payment becomes impossible. The system doesn't break all at once. It tightens slowly, quietly, one monthly payment at a time. They told you to buy a house. They said it was an investment. They said it would build wealth. They did not tell you about everything that comes after. Beyond the mortgage itself, the payment you already budgeted for. The average American homeowner pays $24,529 extra every year just to keep the house taxes, insurance, repairs, maintenance, utilities. $24,000, over $2,000 every month on top of the mortgage. And 81% of homeowners say the costs of owning a home are higher than they expected. And insurance? Don't even get me started. Homeowners insurance has gone up 24% nationwide in just 3 years. The average premium is now $2,304 a year. On top of their mortgage, on top of their taxes, on a house they thought was gonna be their financial foundation. And then there are HOA fees. Nearly a third of all homeowners now pay homeowners association fees. Among people who bought after 2015, that is 40%. Half of HOA members pay more than $200 a month. More than 1 in 7 pay $500 a month or more in fees for the privilege of owning their home in a neighborhood that tells them what color they can paint their front door. Over the full life of a 30-year mortgage, the hidden costs beyond the mortgage payment itself, taxes, insurance, maintenance, utilities, total an average of $735,000 on top of what you already paid for the house. The dream home is the most expensive thing most people will ever own, and most people never fully understand the real cost until they are inside it. Your grandfather worked one job, your grandmother stayed home. They owned a house, raised kids, took vacations, retired on one income.
Yo, Money MC, welcome to the dark side, old school BC. Today you and your partner both work full time. You're both exhausted. You're both stressed. And you still cannot save. It's just not an accident. laziness. This is math in 1970. One income was enough to build a middle-class life. The middle class held 62% of all national income. The system was structured to support working families. Over the next 50 years, the share dropped to 42%, while the wealthy's portion climbed from 29% to 50%. The money did not disappear. It just moved up, and it stayed there. And even with two incomes, it still is not enough for many families. In high-cost cities, and more of America is becoming high cost. A couple earning 30,000 combined can find themselves with nothing left to save after housing, childcare, student loans, and health insurance. $130,000 a year between two working adults and zero left over at the end of the month. That is not irresponsibility. That is the cost of being middle class. Nearly half of middle class Americans, 46%, cannot cover 500 emergencies without going into debt. $500, not $5,500. A car repair, a medical copay, a broken appliance. Half of the middle class has no margin. They are one small crisis away from a big one, and they doing everything right. Yo, the Money MC, Baltimore MD, Washington DC and Philly. Remember what they told you growing up? Work hard, get an education, get a good job, buy a house, raise a family, retire comfortably. That was the promise. Here's what actually happened. Only 20% of young adults today believe they will be better off than their parents. These people are not failures. They did not make bad choices. They followed the plan, they did everything right. The plan just does not work the same way it used to. The system is not fair, the system was not designed for you. And knowing that you are not alone.